Today on GeekSmart, we're doing another install on another Lutron smart switch. Hey folks, welcome back to GeekSmart, and today we're doing an install on another Lutron smart switch. Now I've done a couple Lutron switches in the past, one being their dimmer switch, and then also we did their variable or their fan control, their 4-speed fan control. This is a switch that can control a light or a fan, is only on or off, so you can't do variable speed control on this. So if you have a fan and you want variable speed control with this, you'd have to actually use the fan's different modes itself. The benefit of having the variable fan one, obviously for that, is that you can choose the low, high, medium, high on the light switch itself, and by your voice for that matter. This is just going to be on or off, but because it actually can do up to 5 amps, it can actually power most fans as well. Unlike the standard light switches that you can get, like the dimmer switch. This, I already have the Lutron ecosystem in my house, so that means I actually have the smart hub. So I didn't need the whole kit. I already have that kit, the starter kit for that matter. This is just the switch. So this was not sent to me. I bought this myself. I've been looking at doing one of these for quite a while because I actually wanted to do this switch in my bedroom just for my light controls. I don't really need a dimmer, and I wanted something that required a neutral wire. This requires a neutral wire. The benefit to that is for those of us that have low energy LED light bulbs, the neutral wire will make sure that you don't have a little bit of light on it. So the Lutron dimmer switch that they offer that does not require a neutral wire, which is great for older homes like I had until I added my neutral. By the way, I did show adding the neutral wire when I did my fan install, so if you have a house that doesn't have a neutral wire, you can definitely check out that video. I'll post all that below as well. But the nice thing about not having neutral, you still have an option with the Lutron series. However, if you have LED bulbs, you get this really slow glow because basically in order to make the neutral connect, it keeps a real low amount of wattage going up to the switch to complete the circuit. Where if it didn't do that, it would actually, if it completely shut down, it would actually turn off the switch and then you couldn't control it via a smart app or anything. So having the neutral wire means it can actually pull power non-stop and then send the signal up for the load wire. So that's what we're doing. What we're going to do is we're going to kick the power off here. We're going to head upstairs. We're going to install this bad boy. Shouldn't take very long. So let's head to the circuit breaker and then let's head upstairs. I got a little bit ahead of myself. Let's actually pull this thing open before we head to the circuit breaker. How about that? So, careful with knives, kids. Let's see here. Make this thing come apart a little easier. I hate that kind of packaging. It is such a pain in the butt. Now, I did purchase this, like I said. It was a $49 purchase. The funny thing is I've been looking at this switch for quite a little while, and I was at my local Best Buy just yesterday, and lo and behold, they had one of these guys. So, as you can see back here, we have our ground wire, we have our line, load, neutral, so all the controls here. Then we can actually go through, and look at that, they even give you a little bridger. And then wire nuts. Let's take a peek at the instructions quick. So, we're looking at the instructions and completely forgot. I had been looking at this a while back, like I said, but we'll go through the wires here quick. So we have obviously the green for the ground. We have black for the line wire coming in. That's our hot wire. We have the red for our load. That's going to be going to the light for the on-off to complete the circuit. We have our neutral wire. Obviously, these are going to be actually powering this guy. So we have all those. And then we have this fifth wire, the blue wire. This is actually for a three-way installation. I completely forgot that you can actually use this switch in a three-way method as well. So in this case, we're just going to actually be capping this off. We're not going to be utilizing this wire. But if you did have a three-way setup, you can actually use this switch in a three-way setup. So that's always nice to know because I'm actually looking at adding this to my dining room eventually, maybe even my kitchen. All depends on how much I like it. So let's cook the power. Let's head upstairs. First of all, I am not an electrician. This is my home, and I feel very comfortable with this. If you're not comfortable with this, you may want to think twice. But this is obviously the circuit breaker panel. We're just going to kill the power to my bedroom is where it's going, which essentially I have 3 rooms that are on that circuit. Hopefully you have the diagram here, but in this case, bedrooms, circuit 8. Off she goes. So just to showcase, obviously, if you haven't paid attention, this one that I just took off is going to be like a traditional light switch where we actually hardwired things right into it. We didn't have to worry about wire nuts. I prefer this. I think this is a much better way to do things than having wires stick out because boxes are only so deep. Now you can get deeper boxes, but I only have so deep walls. I don't have 2x6 walls. So it's going to be a tougher fit to get everything in this case. Now at the same time, you can see how it is not quite as deep as this, but wire nuts aren't small, right? They are pretty big. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to get all these wired up. In this case, the blue wire, like I said, is not going to be used, but we are going to wire nut that so that it doesn't contact anything. This, because I am installing it next to a light switch, you can see that there are flanges sticking out. I am going to have to remove this side of flanges, just the right side. The outside side, the one that's actually, connecting the wall, we will leave those in place, but we will take these 3 flanges off where they're in between 2 switches. So this is another fast forward part, but essentially I know how I wired this myself. This is our line coming in. This is the hot wire. This is the ground. This is my load wire, so my red wire is actually going to be going to this white wire. And then this is the neutral wire, the wire that's actually neutral, that's actually shared between all these devices. So that's how mine's wired. But if you're pulling things off, just pay attention when you're pulling things off. Alright, so technically, I accidentally removed that one because it was upside down and I didn't pay attention. That's my fault. That said, you can see I wired it down now. Technically, like I said, I could cut this shorter, actually, and so it wasn't so long. But if I ever decided to take this out and reuse it in a place that did have a 3-way, I want to make sure I have that in place. This is going to be a little bit crowded, so it's probably going to take me a minute to get everything in here. You saw that I did have to remove this guy to get to the neutral wire properly, and that's just so it was easier to connect. It was kind of a pain. So give me a minute, let me put it together. I have, these are the screws that came with it, so I'll use that obviously to connect it all. Alright, well, this plate was a cheap plate. It shows that. So, we are set here. We're going to head back downstairs. We're going to power it on up. And then we're going to come up and we're going to get this thing set up. Alright, we go back to the breaker that we turned off. Kick it back on. So you can see right now it's turned on. If I kick it off, kick it on, we're on and off. We physically work. Now we need to set up the switch smartly with the app. So just briefly mention, this is the jumper cable that came with it. Obviously, I didn't need to use it, but if you needed to actually extend something, it does come with one jumper. So we'll come over here to the app. we'll have the Lutron app, which I already have it installed and done, and you can see everything that I have currently installed. We're going to then come over here to the gear icon, and in here, we're going to hit Add Device. Getting ready to add devices. So, we are going to be in-wall dimmer switch or fan control. That's what we are. Press and hold the bottom button for 10 seconds until the LED blinks quickly. So I'm going to do that. So we have the bottom button. There it is. And we'll see what happens here on the app. So in this one, this is actually in my master bedroom. Oh, there it is at the top. Hit next. This is actually the ceiling lights. And this is the main ceiling light. And there she kicks off and kicks back on, so it seems like it's adding the device properly. Master bedroom, main lights added. Alright, well I'm done adding devices, so I'm done. And if we come down here, master bedroom, main lights, off, on. And we should be able to still control the ceiling fan, which that works, so it's wintertime, I don't need that on. But you can see we're on in here. Now, as it's always, I already have this connected with Siri, with Alexa, as well as with Google. So all three of them will also be able to control that main light as well. Alexa, turn off the master bedroom light. So in that regard, I'm probably going to have to go through Alexa and actually discover devices. Alexa, discover devices.
Starting discovery. This will take a few moments.
We'll give that a few
Power on
moments.
the new devices now, and if needed, put them in pairing mode.
Hey Siri, turn off the master bedroom light. There it is. Hey Siri, turn on the master bedroom light. There we go. And I actually have two lights, technically. I still have my Leviton one still linked as the master bedroom light, so I'm going to have to unlink that and delete that out of the account as the master bedroom light, because it's telling me that that one's not responding, but it is what it is. So, there we go.
Control it by saying,
Oh.
Turn off master bedroom main lights.
I just turned off the recorder, and it says that it's good to go. Alexa, turn off master bedroom light. Alexa, turn on master bedroom light. Fantastic. So we have those working, smart stuff, and then Google. As long as you, I don't have the Google Home nearby at all, but as long as you go through the app and it's all connected as well, we should all be good in that regard too. Well, that was fairly simple. If you're like me, you probably noticed that Siri was acting a little sluggish and getting it turned on and off. I went into my home app, I deleted the old accessories that was called master bedroom light, and then that one was already listed in there automatically. So it basically was trying to do the one that it couldn't connect to, and then it went off to the second one. After I deleted it, she was peppy just like as fast as Amazon's assistant was. Apologize for if I triggered your assistant earlier when I said it. That said, guys, like any smart light, these are fairly simple to install as long as you feel comfortable with wiring, simple wiring within light switches or outlets. It's not dangerously difficult, but if you're not comfortable, get either find somebody that you know that is an electrician or knows how to work on electrical wiring, or just hire an electrician. It's as simple as that. So I am a huge fan. If it's hard to notice, I'm a huge fan of the Caséta wireless system from Lutron. I think they make a great product. It's extremely reliable, and I think that's the biggest thing for me is reliability. I want it to work every time without problems at all, and I want it to, well, keep its connection to Wi-Fi. Because the Lutron system, the various devices don't actually connect to Wi-Fi, they connect to their own smart hub. That hub is connected into my router. Well, what happens is I don't have to worry about each device connecting to my Wi-Fi. If you start building a whole bunch of devices that are independently connecting to Wi-Fi, like the Leviton one I had did, well, you start adding more Wi-Fi items to your internet, and it bogs your router down a little bit more as well because it's eating up that little spectrum of Wi-Fi. Secondly, my walls don't like Wi-Fi, and so putting a switch into a wall that doesn't like Wi-Fi, it tends to be less reliable and less reliable connection. Even though I have an access point now really close to it, that level 10 one, every so often, would just lose connection because it was inside a cavity that doesn't like wireless signals. So every home is every home is built different, but I'm not as big of a fan on the devices that directly connect to Wi-Fi. I would much rather have a hub-based system, so I have one device connected to my internet source, my router. Everything else is independently wirelessly to that hub. It's not bogging down my Wi-Fi. It's not using up channels or anything like that on my router. So, for me, I definitely am a huge fan of the Lutron system. I hope they keep rolling out more products that definitely work with the hub. The other great and beautiful benefit is it works with all three smart assistants. Whether you're an Alexa household, a Google household, or an Apple household, it will work with your setup. So, that is huge because I use all three. So, curse me or whatever, but I think it's great to have that arrangement of devices. I am going to be taking my Amazon speaker out of my bedroom and just have my Apple HomePod Mini because I love my HomePod Mini. I love my HomePods, and it's better to have Alexa out of the bedroom for a little more secure bedroom. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. If you have any questions or comments, please post it below. Share, like, subscribe. And we'll be back with more setups. Well, maybe before the end of the year here. It's Christmas Eve today, so Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays for those of you that do not celebrate Christmas. But yes, we'll catch you back here for more reviews, more setups, I should say. And we'll see you on into the new year. Take care.